Hi there. So let me demonstrate how to use my best practice rule engine. So go to share. Where do we go? Yeah, share, right? Go to developer, ServiceNow, share, type BPRE. There you go. So open this link, click on download. That will download the XML file, update set XML, go to the instance, go to retrieved update sets, import update set, use PPR, this XML that you just downloaded. Select that, open it, upload it, and that'll appear as loaded. Open it, preview it, and commit it. I shouldn't have done that because I've already done that. So yeah, that's why you see those problems, right? I've already done that, so I've committed it. So I shouldn't have done that again. Anyway, so let's go to local update sets. So this is the update set that I committed some time back. So the initial state of the update set would be complete after the commit. And as you can see, there are uh, 70 updates in the update set, right? So this is the new tab that gets added after you apply the update set, after you commit it. Right, you get this new button here, and you also get a new state called under review. Okay, so let's quickly skim through the contents of the update set. It's got 4 access controls, and those access controls are written on best practice rule engine table. This rule basically lets a person um, define rules. Okay, and that's that role. If you're an admin, you already have the access to that table, so you need not have an additional role which was defined here, right? So you don't need anything if you're an admin, and typically you would be an admin because update sets are dealt with by the admins. So application menu, there is one application menu, should have shown two, there is only one, and that application menu is update set checker. There's a business rule, there are two business rules, one is a test bed and another is the one that kickstarts the rule engine. When I click on review button on update set form, you just saw that. And then we got two modules. For some reason it's showing four. For some reason it's showing two application menus, whereas there is only one, which is update set checker, and two modules. One is best practice rules, is update set deviations. These are the two modules. And then, like I said, there's one role that we have defined. I have defined. There is no we here. It's just me. I have defined, right? So, and then we got two script includes. One, basically both are used for executing the rules that we define. Then we got two tables. One is for storing the deviations and one is for storing the rules, right? So we have one UI action, which is review, which we saw some time back, and that's this, right? So now let's go to the menu, update set checker. And that's the best I could do as far as the name goes. Update checker, right? We got two modules. So this is where you define the rules, best practice rules. I already defined two. I'm going to attach this to the share, right? So that you could, use it um, as examples. This is demo data basically. So two business rules, and this is where the updated deviations are stored. This is again the sample data, right? I executed the engine, and it created these. Now we could get rid of these deviations so that I can demonstrate it from the scratch. I'm going to delete these deviations because I don't want those for now. I'm going to run the review again, and the deviations would get created. Rules. Let's go to the rules. The first rule is, okay, it's opening. I hope it's opening. Yeah. So the first rule is description is mandatory for BRs. There is a description field on BRs, and by applying this rule, what you're saying is, hey developer, you have written a BR, but you have not given me a good description. Can you please give me a good description? Kind of a thing. So that everyone else understands what you have written or what the business rule is all about. So you can define the rules using two ways. One is by giving the condition, the filter condition, and second way is to use the scripts. This is really flexible and gives you a lot of power to write any script here, which could be treated as a rule, one of the rules, right? So I'm going to show that to you in the second rule that I have defined, which is part of this demo. So what this says is description. If the description is empty, then it's a deviation. Okay. So what is a deviation? So deviation says this is just a text you can write and a good amount of text here to define to describe this deviation, right? Best practice is to write the business rule description, okay? And it says, so the deviation description says BR description cannot be empty, right? This will be shown to the developer when he executes the rule engine, okay? And then what's the recommendation? You should enter a good business rule description. So that's the recommendation. That's also shown to the developer. I'll show you how it appears and how the developer can use this information. I'll show that to you. Order is basically the order of execution for this rule, and active flag is to make a particular rule active or inactive. Okay. Now let's look at the second best practice rule, which is this. And you can define any number of rules, right? So this best practice says the name should start with ACME colon, and again this one runs on business rule table, right? So what that means is mm, the business rule name should start with ACME. That's the rule that that's the standard that I'm enforcing through this rule. So you, like I said, you could define your rules using the script. This is a predefined variable, right? Similar to other predefined variables in ServiceNow system like current, previous, or answer, right? You know that already. So application file is a predefined variable, which is nothing but a glide record on the business rule. Okay, current glide record on the business rule. You could just look at it as current. Okay, current variable, um, similar to the current variable in business rules. So application file name starts with ACME. So If the name starts with ACME, then it's not a deviation. But if the name does not start with ACME, then it's a deviation. That's why the result, which is again a predefined variable, is set to true because it's a deviation. If it starts with ACME, then it's not a deviation, right? So that's your rule. You can define complex any complex script here, right? At the end of the day, what it expects is the result variable should be set either to true or to false. If it is set to true, then it's treated as a deviation. If it's set to false, then it's not treated as a deviation. So the deviation description that I have written here is naming convention of business rule does not match the standards. That's a deviation. And how do we fix the deviation? By changing name of the business rule. It says name must start with ACME colon. For example, ACME do it my way. Hmm. Yeah. So that's just an example, right? So that's how you use scripts to define your rules. So now let's go to the update set, which is this, and let's run our rules or our best practice rule engine against our own update set, which is best practice rule engine update set. Okay, I said I told you that there is a business rule called test BR, which is our test bed, maybe, or just the demo data. That's a business rule. I'm going to open that business rule and I'm going to change its name to just test BR and also get rid of the description here. By the way, description is not visible by default in this view. I added that field in this view. Okay, I'm going to save this and then I'm going to go back to update set. Uh, yeah, I mean, when you, and the reason I changed the state to in progress is because typically the developers would be using this tool or using clicking on review button when the state is still in progress. And the second reason I changed it because the best practice rule engine kicks in only if the state changes from other state to under review. Okay, so that's why I changed that. I'm going to click review here. So those two rules that we defined are now getting executed against this update set, and there you go, we have four deviations. So the deviation that it reported, right, um, there are four deviations. Let's focus only on the test PR because we are playing with this PR right now for demonstration, right? So what it says, the naming convention of business rule does not match the standards. And what's the recommendation? The name must start with ACME. Okay, so let's go to this deviation record. Let's open the business rule and then let's fix it. Let's change the name from test PR to ACME colon and save it. Now, because we are adhering to the standard naming conventions standards, which is ACME colon, that deviation should just go away when I rerun the rule engine. Okay, let's go back and rerun the rule engine. Let's change the state back to in progress for the said reason. And then let's run the rule engine again. Now, as you can see, the deviation count has reduced from 4 to 3, and the deviation that it was reporting for the naming convention has disappeared because we fixed it. Now let's go ahead and fix another deviation that it has reported, which is nothing but the description cannot be empty on a BR. Let's go to the BR. What happened? I didn't mean to do that. The table got changed. It doesn't matter, but I don't want to save that because that was not our intended change here. I just want to update the description, and funny things happen. And it's funny that things happen. So description is a good description. It's not a good description though, right? A good description is not a good description. The intention of this field is to have a good description that the developer can use, a good description that the developer can read and understand what this business rule is all about. So I updated the description on the business rule. I'm going back to the update set so that I can run. Where is the update set? Yeah, there I go. Now the count is 3. I'm gonna run this review again. Yeah, for the said reasons. Change it back to in progress and then click on review. You'll see that there are only 2 deviations now. You know why the deviations went away? 2 deviations went away because we fixed those. We changed the name of the business rule to meet the standards. We also entered the description on the BR on the test BR. That's why the deviations reported against those two um, um, yeah those 2 deviations are now gone because we fixed it. Similarly, there are 2 more. Uh, this is for another business rule. So this is how it works basically. You define your rules, you run those rules against your update set, and it reports the deviations. You fix the deviations, and then you take the code to a higher instance, right? So what does this do to your coding practice? It improves the code quality. It arrests the issues early in the game. So there is, I mean, you know that, right? If a small issue that can be fixed in dev is cheaper than fixing it in production. So that's how it helps you to fix it in dev rather than fixing it in production. Fixing something in production has higher cost as compared to fixing it in sub-production. Um, it also helps improve um, the developers' habits, right? It helps in improving the developer's habit, improves the code quality, right? Those are the benefits of this tool. And like I said, it's just a framework. I'm not giving you any predefined or pre-canned rules because what's the fun in giving all that to you ready-made? If I had that, I would have sold it as a paid tool. I don't want to do that. My intention is to give this tool for free so that you can use it and build your own rules and share those rules among ServiceNow community and also send it back to me so that I can package it together and share it with the community through this share. That's the whole intent of this in this initiative. So Shoot me an email on ashwin.sndev@gmail.com if you have any questions about this tool. And also write your own rules and send those back to me so that I can collate all the rules, and then combine it, package it, and distribute it through Share. Right. So thanks a lot for watching it, and also leave a comment, and ratings, and feedback, to make the tool better. Or rather, I would just say, because you have all the power in your hand, that is the update set in your hand, just go ahead and improve it and send me back the updated update set, so that and I can review it, and if I like what you have done, and I'll incorporate in the Share. Okay. Alrighty. Thank you very much, guys. Talk to you later. Bye.